these damn Super Bowl chances, man. Like, is this the year that Dallas finally gets it done? Because the last time you boys won the Super Bowl, they still watching movies on VHS tapes. For real, man. Like, you told me last week before I got you on here that I was sleeping on y'all. You feel like this is the year y'all boys might get it done. So what are the Cowboys' chances at winning the ship in 2023, man? And you're not saying this to be, a delusional Cowboy fan like how y'all normally are every offseason, man. This the year. You feel like strongly in your heart, in your soul, you feel it in your soul, man, that this is the year. Why? Why are you setting yourself up for, the disappointment? Why do you feel like this year's different? You know how it is with the Cowboys. You know how it is with y'all boys, man. But why is this different, man? Why do you just got a different feeling in your soul this year, man? Preach to us.
For the same reason for the offense with Brandon Cooks, I'm about to talk about the defense with Stephon Gilmore. Last year, people do not understand, bro. We had Kelvin Joseph.
Don't do my boy like that, man. Don't do my boy Boss Man Fat like that, man. I love me some Boss Man Fat coming out of Kentucky, man.
Don't call him Boss Man. Call him Kelvin. All right, he got an arm box, man. Bro, we had Deshaun Wright playing cornerback or something. Like not Daryl Williams, that was WWE. We had Xavier Rhodes, like what's the dude from Trayvon Mullen? Like, quarterback 2 was terrible last year. Like when Anthony Brown got hurt, it's all there's always the names with Brown, but I always play with Cowboys. Old Brown. Anthony Brown, just a bit shit. But with getting Stephon Gilmore, man, you really have a chance to have one of the better cornerback tandems in the league. Really trios, because nobody talks about him, but quietly, DeRon Bland was one of the better rookie quarterbacks last year. To be able to play the slot most of the year, get 5 picks, multiple game picks, like DeRon Bland was very, very solid at the spot. But man, bro, you cannot talk about our defense without talking about Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons, first off, as a scout, I always say this. I was glad I was on Micah Parsons. I evaluated him as a off-ball linebacker, and the way Dan Quinn has him roughing off the edge, how he's looking stupid right now. Like, this is the guy who literally can bench press tackles and then run around them and then get to the quarterback, but can also fill gaps in the run game. Like, this dude is a very, very special player. But we led the league. We were top 5 in sacks last year, and number 1 in turnovers. And we got better at our positions and weakness on defense. See what I'm saying? Like, we were already probably a top 5, top 3. A lot of things we got better. So for those reasons, what I said about the offense, and I know I guess it's the perfect times. I want to give you a little rebuttal on the whole quarterbacks that need weapons and stuff. I feel like all quarterbacks need weapons. It's not just applied to guys like Kirk Cousins or Jimmy G. But first of all, I don't think that good those guys anyway. I think that can top 10 quarterback. I really think it's top 5. But
whoa! I mean. It's like,
but you gotta be real for a second, right? So, like, Mahomes,
Joe Burrow.
I'll give you Burrow. I'll give you Allen, and for fairness to this, I'll give you Jackson.
Give me Lamar, man. Lamar wins 70% of his games with way less than Dak.
One thing is after Allen, we can start having that conversation. Because while Josh Allen does have a crazy arm, he doesn't have good decision making. And on top of that, Josh Allen has been able to play with Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, a different stable of running backs and talented every week. And then recently we've had elite receivers. So it's not like he hasn't had a bunch of help either.
But no, but a terrible offense. That
wait, he has the best receiver core in the entire league. Period.
But he still is able to overcome some limitations though. For Dak Prescott, you need elite offensive line and good receivers with elite QBs though. You don't need all that though. They can overcome something.
Offensive line since 2016. Our offensive lines have been good. Some years, like I think I say 2021 it was borderline great. But all the other offensive line have been good. To 2018, it was average, and he's still performing. So for me, I just look at it and I say, after those four, after Mahomes, obviously, Burrow, for this exercise, Jackson, Allen, Dak, and Herbert, like you can have that conversation. It might not go a certain way, depending on certain people, but you can have that conversation. With Dak and like Hurt, you can definitely have that conversation, in my opinion. Because everybody talks about Jalen Hurts. Last year, Jalen Hurts had 3,500 yards, 23 touchdowns. I forgot the number of picks. Like, Dak Prescott in 2019 had a better. Like, and strictly passing, because when you think about the run game and everything, obviously, Jalen Hurts is a very good athlete. And almost rushing touchdowns, even though most of them came from like 2 yards out. We ain't talking about that. But like, as far as like passing and his ability too, like people give Jalen Hurts all the credit when you only have the 1 year success. In the 1 year success, you don't have to make one read sometimes. See what I'm saying? Like this man, Dak Prescott, was going through 3 reads where he's got 2 people that are nowhere near open. He's got to make it a decision in a split second. What am I going to do? Am I going to throw to the one receiver that I said count to get open that's getting double team? Or am I going to throw to Noah Brown where I know he might drop the ball and I'm going to end the game? You know? So while I don't expect the sympathy of the NFL, I do like feel a little more understanding. Like when you have to deal with these situations with the quarterback, especially if I don't even think you understand how good Dak is, like as far as his ability. Like Dak Prescott and Josh Allen, okay, like Josh Allen has a better arm, but Josh Allen's a freshman defense than Dak Prescott. Like Joe Burrow, I like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow doesn't read Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are in a situation where their reads are so quick. And that goes back to what I said about Kellen Moore, Zach Taylor. I don't know who Buffalo, their goal coordinator was Brian Daboll. These guys are putting them in situations where they had these receivers getting open quickly because of their talent, but also because the scheme was so efficient. You got Kellen Moore calling stop run on 3rd and 8, and you expect him to like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like my man's gonna underrap. But anyway, all that to say, I think this year you're gonna get the very, very best version of Dak Prescott. Like, I'm saying it now. I'm saying on my show when we start to see Spiral on NFL pregame show that I'm watching this fall. I think Dak Prescott is gonna have an MVP caliber season this year. Like talking like 45 tugs, only 7 picks. What? I'm standing on.
So the Cowboys, these boys coming into this year, they world beaters. They about to clobber everybody.
I didn't say all that. No, I didn't say they're not.
45 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's one of the greatest seasons that we've seen in recent memory. This is Peyton Manning, Tom Brady-esque. Aaron Rodgers.
But think about all the things that I've said though. With Brandon Cooks being able to open up, and I haven't even talked about the young tight ends yet. I ain't talking about Jake Ferguson, who by the 2 best tight ends in the game. Now the name dropped every time that he's gonna break it out. Kittle and Kelsey, and apply them up unscripted. So that's that. Then we have Schoonmaker. If you guys want to see my reaction on Schoonmaker, it was not great. He's 25 years old. But he's another athletic tight end. You see what I'm saying? And then we got Henderson. He's another athletic tight end. So I think with the weapons that he has, not the best weapons in his career, but it's the best weapons for him to have the most success he's had in his career. And then you couple that with the league. Name remember this. How many now? I know you don't agree that he's an elite quarterback, but how many teams have a good to great quarterback and elite defense?
I'll say about 5.
4 to 5.
Mahomes, you got Steve Spagnuolo, their
They have an
defense.
elite defense.
In the postseason, it is.
Elite.
I'll consider it elite.
They're like top 5. They're like top 5 in everything. Not just in spurts.
I really can't go. I really can't judge it off stats. I really just go off like how you perform against in big games. And Steve Spagnuolo's defense has always come up big in the postseason. And then you got Lou Anarumo. He's one of the best DCs in the game. His defenses are always pretty good. Let's see, Lamar, Josh Allen.
Ravens defense is elite in my opinion. Bills defense is borderline.
Unless
The only two I would say, and simply because Mahomes is just elite, he just makes up for everything. He's like another player. But I would say Jets and maybe
It's
Buffalo. Like to have an elite defense and an elite quarterback, it's not a common combination. Like the Eagles had it last year, but the problem with the Eagles is they lost one of their best defensive players when Javon Hargrave. That's really gonna hurt. Now, you replace him with Jalen Carter, who's stud in his own right, but at the same time, you have to rely on rookies. You're setting yourself up for boomer play.
But ain't y'all relying on Monty Smith though?
Is he better than Rodney Smith?
No, aren't y'all relying on Monty Smith?
Yes, but listen to what I said. I said that we have Open Digazula and we have what's his name, Jonathan Hankins. So we don't have to necessarily rely on Monty Smith primarily.
Get your point.
Day one. They have Fletcher Cox, but outside of him, all they have is Jordan Davis and Carter. So Carter's going to come in and have to play majority of the snap. So it's a different type of pressure. But all in all, bro, I think with Dak Prescott, like I predicted already, has the MVP caliber season, and with the defense playing the way, I mean, they played well last year. Out of number 2 points. There were games where after Cooper Rush was playing, bro, we had winning games 20 to 10.
So let me ask you this: on a scale of 1 through 10, how confident are you that the Dallas Cowboys make it out of the NFC this year? 6.
But I didn't get to that. I didn't even get to that. Who else is winning in the NFC? Who else?
Who's the threats to Dallas?
We have San Francisco. We have the Eagles. But who else do we have to compete with?
Detroit. Detroit got a squad this year, man. Don't make that face, man. Don't act like you ain't been seeing what the Lions been doing now. Don't do that now.
Who's the quarterback?
Jared Goff was arguably the hottest QB to end last season. He had no interceptions to end of last year, and they got Ben Johnson as their OC, who's one of the best OCs in the game. This man could have been a head coach. He's about to be a head coach next year. It's always about the coaching staff too, man, when it comes to Super Bowl teams, man. Like, teams that normally make it to the Super Bowl get their coaching staffs rated. The Detroit Lions with Ben Johnson, they overhauled the secondary. They got a really good pass rush. They had James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson. They bring in Hercules at linebacker. I mean, that defense is going to be really good, at least way better than what it was last year. Like, Detroit, they got a squad, man. They're up there.
They do have a squad, but here's my point. They might not even make the point. Like they're not like they have to compete with their division. Like Justin Fields is gonna tear the league up. You still have to deal with Kirk Cousins and all of his chains and all his ice. You know what I'm saying? And Justin Jefferson, like they have to compete with their division. Who's gonna we have to compete with?
Philly.
Like, yes.
And you gonna laugh at me. And y'all division. I like the Commanders, man, with Airbnb. They all Washington had the top 5 defense last year though. They did have a top 5 defense though. You gotta think. Their offense is what kept their defense back because their defense was on the field for way more plays than what they had to be. But every year under Ron Rivera, Washington has at least had a top 10 defense or better. All they need is for that offense to be better.
When you say top 5, that's a defense that can match up with anyone.
Okay, but they do have one of the best D lines in the NFL, though. We can't take that away from them. Absolutely. Their defense should be really good, and their offense got weapons. All they need is a OC. They got Airbnb. You believe in Airbnb?
Right, but that's the same thing with the Lions. A lot of things have to happen. Like you need Sam Howell, who I really like, by the way. Quarterback scouted him. I really like Sam Howell. You need Sam Howell to be really, really good. You also need to figure out what the hell you got at running back because Brian Robinson was terrible last year. I was 3.9 yards a carry. And Antonio Gibson can't stop fumbling. So it's like, and the same thing with the Lions. Like, now the Lions are definitely a better team than the Commanders, and I think the Lions are going to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to win the division, but they probably make it as like a 6 or 7 seed. But with that, right, with the internal struggle they have to have in their own division, you have to count that like, it's like, are they playoff contenders or Super Bowl contenders? I feel like Super Bowl contenders are teams that you know from the moment the season starts, not only are they going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be at least in the division round. I feel like we had earned that with expectation because of what we did in the offseason. We already had a 12-point win last year, and we got better at predictions of need all across both sides of the ball. But back to your point about Philly, right?
I'll give you another team that I like. And you know which team I forgot the list. You know what team I forgot the list, man. I like them Seahawks. They young, but I like them Seahawks, man. The Seahawks are so stat, man. They're stat. You can't lie. They JSN.
I like them too, but here's the problem again. When you have these quarterbacks who aren't, I'm not going to disrespect them by saying they aren't good, because they are good quarterbacks. We have these quarterbacks that aren't like top tier. You're just really, really hoping and praying on a star they can replicate, the play that they had. And for Geno Smith, it's like, bro, you had a great year last year, a great year. But bro, it's like you with the girl, and you keep picking on her, and for 1 year you finally stop. Like, do you really think your girl's gonna crush you just because you did treat for a year? Like, Geno Smith was ass since he was drafted. So for 1 year, he stopped being ass, and now like, oh man, the Seahawks are contenders. Geno is him.
Because look what they got. Because look at the coaching staff. Coaching staff matters. You're not going to go far in the postseason if you don't have a great head coach. And regardless how good Dallas team is, a large reason why a lot of people, non-Cowboy fans, have faith in y'all is because of Dan Quinn on your coaching staff. A lot of people do not trust Mike McCarthy in playoff games. And I think that is a fair criticism. I think that is fair. You look at Pete Carroll, what he did with Geno Smith, you just do nothing but add more talent around them. They got the two of the best rookie tackles in the league. I won't say the best, but 2 of the best. Okay. You bring in a Lua Timmy, and then you already had a damn good wide receiving core with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Now you got JSN operating in the slot. This team wasn't even expected to even be competing for anything last year. They were expected to be competing for the number 1 overall pick in the draft, potentially drafting Bryce Young, and yet they found a way to make it to the wild card round. Now you bring in even more talent, and one thing that a lot of people are overlooking about Seattle, if Dallas has a couple of injuries on any position, well, I won't say any position, you're deep at certain positions, but Seattle, they are deep at nearly every single position. Offensive line, running back, receiver, defense. They're stacked when it comes to being able to get after the QB. Like, I feel like Seattle, I'm pretty confident.
I disagree there. I think their pass rush is still something they can work on. I do like Daryl Taylor a lot. I like that number 10. I can't
Uchenna Nwosu. And they got Boye Mafe.
But those are 3 people. I can name 8 pass rushes the Cowboys have. I can name 9 pass rushes the Eagles have. I can name 8 pass rushes the 49ers have. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to rushing the pass, you can't just have effective people to get off the passer, effectively successful. You have ladies, the people that can come in for depth off the bench, and they don't have that. So I get what you're saying about the distance they are defense, like to add the Devon Witherspoon to an already gangster-ass quarterback group, fire. To add Jackie Jigma to already gangster-ass wide receiver group, fire. Now here's the problem. If you can't rush the pass, and it's also very underrated. Now, I like how you brought this up when you were explaining, eloquently why they're contenders, bringing back, Bobby Wagner and everything. But it's a passing league, bro. Bobby Wagner Wagner's a great player. He's been helping us in the passing game as well, as far as people. But if you can't work if you only have 3 pass rushers, how are you going to be a playoff? Super Bowl and beyond that, again, like you said with the Lions, you did predict that they're going to beat San Francisco, win the division, but how? Like San Francisco was able to have 4 different quarterbacks last year and still go to the championship game. That's how talented they are. They also have a better coach than the Seattle Seahawks. They also have a better defense than the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to look at what the 49ers lost on defense, though. You lost Jimmy Ward in that secondary. You lost Emmanuel Mosley, who was really productive, who got a big payday. It's like, I think Kyle Shanahan's a great coach, but let's not act like Pete Carroll is he's up there too. But I think Pete Carroll's up there, though. It's like Seattle, I think when you look at Dallas, and you compare them to the rest of the NFC, they definitely deserve the recognition of being probably if you aren't sold on Philadelphia or San Fran, you definitely are having Dallas in the Super Bowl discussion. If you don't think Dallas doesn't have a chance to win the Super Bowl this year, you're hating. But there's always new teams that come into the fold every single year. And for Dallas, their Achilles heel, their biggest concern really for me, my question mark is going to be Mike McCarthy. If you were to ask me who I trust more with this team or head to head, because we know coaching matters. You feel me? Doesn't matter how good of a team you have. Eventually, the deeper you go to the postseason, the better teams you're going to face. You see, Seattle was baby last year. You had a young roster. And even though their roster is fairly young, you still do have a little bit more experience. And I look at Mark McCarthy, and I just wonder, how is he going to be able to handle playing a team like San Francisco or Seattle that is going to be well coached? Because we can say Seattle's going to be well coached because look what they did last season. Like you said, we had questions about Geno Smith. This dude wasn't good, and Geno Smith ended up turning to gold with Pete Carroll. So it's like for Dallas, I'm not questioning, are y'all contenders? We know y'all contenders. But what separates y'all from the rest of the NFC? What are some outstanding characteristics that you feel so heavy in your heart about this team being able to make it to the Super Bowl that you haven't felt in the previous years? What makes this Cowboys team better than previous years' Cowboys teams?
I think for starters, to answer about Mike McCarthy, I think Mike McCarthy was really just waiting on Kellen Moore to fuck up before he took over play calling duties. I think that's what he wanted from day one. I think he really wanted to call the plays. But the Joneses wanted Kellen Moore because he came off Bears except the season with 2019 campaign. So I think Mike McCarthy was always wanting to call plays. But I think Mike McCarthy was got a little vengeance thing on his mind because he hears all you guys talking. And beyond that, he saw how bad things ended in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. And I think part of the reason why I'm so confident is I think Mike McCarthy, for the first first time in Dak's career, they're gonna actually build an offense around him, like actually make an offense to where like it's catered to him and what he does best. Because that's the other thing that we did talk about when we talk about quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is different, he said, but Patrick Mahomes has an offense literally made for him. I mean, handcrafted. Same with Josh Allen. Brian Daboll really took an offense and really, that's Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys have offenses. Dak Prescott's never had that. You know, Dak Prescott's coordinators have been Scott Linehan, Kellen Moore. His quarterback coach has been John Kitchen. But like, Doug Nussmeier, guys like that. Guys dudes I don't even know. Like, these dudes are terrible. And now he finally has a quality play caller. Now, does Mike McCarthy have to prove that he's a quality play caller again? Absolutely. That's the reason why he got fired. The reason why he got fired from the league is because he called terrible play. That's why we question your judgment now. You gotta earn it. But I'm confident because of the things that we're hearing, you know, rumors wise and everything, but also the things that we're hearing from the beginning, like they're talking about this is Dak's off Texas coach. You know what I'm saying? There's all the right things that you may hear for a quarterback who want to have a successful season. But beyond that, moving off of, like I said, bro, I'm telling you, our defense. There's a reason why we have led the league for 2 years in a row. That does not happen. Teams do not repeat that success with taking the ball away like that. That is not normal. Like, I don't know what Dan Quinn does, but like, thank God for Dan Quinn today. He changed through the identity of the football team. The defense changed the football team. You know when you play Dallas, you cannot turn the ball over. Because guess what? If you turn the ball over, we're dropping 40. And teams know that. Teams have to game plan around that. So that's what separates us. Our consistency over the past year defensively, and finally having that and an offense where he can have it catered for him and his strengths. That's why I think we're legit football contenders. Now, like I said, when you asked me a question, I said, about how confident I am at winning the NFC North football, I said a 6. So I'm confident that I'm not out here beating my best. But I am saying, yo, look at what we've done over the offseason, bro. We have to take her serious this year.
You hear that, Stephen A. Smith? You better stop laughing at Dallas, man. You better start trolling these boys. These boys gonna end up making you go on ESPN looking dumb one day. And it might just be this season, man. Make sure you guys check out my guy, Film is the Art. Does a lot of great content over there when it comes to the draft. He has so much other good content planned over the next couple of months. Let's segue to this, man.